Welcome to the recording for Computer Fundamentals A, Week 3. And you can see that Week 3 goes from September 23rd to September 27th. If we look at Week 3, a few things to keep in mind. We're getting into the Documents unit, so you're going to actually do some word processing assignments. And on the 4 project assignments in this unit, I have a video in the assignment directions announcement. I'll show you where to get that. And that will show you exactly how to do the work. So please watch that video and you'll get the work done right the first time. So as we look at this for this week, we have, of course, the Week 3 write-up. Then you have Project 1, Project 2, Project 3, Project 4, and the exam. And obviously I'll go through the unit just like I always do. Now just to remind you of a couple of things, if I look right here, assignment directions, right here is this video that tells you exactly how to do all 4 assignments in this unit, so you'll get full credit. So please watch that. The passing plan, I've adjusted the passing plan. So you can go take a look at that. And I explained in last week's recording, the live session recordings, why I did that. And here's an announcement of the revised grading. So you can read through that. You can see that now the quizzes and exams are worth fewer points, but the assignments are worth more points. So that's how I changed the course. And it did not hurt anybody's grade. All right, let's go down here to the Documents unit. And in the Documents unit, we're going to be using Microsoft Word, or you could use the word processor for OpenOffice. That would be fine. But the one thing to think about is that this course is set up for Microsoft Word, so some of the directions that they give may not match the version of Word that you're using, and I can't address the needs for every version of Word, so hopefully you'll be able to do these different commands, and I'll try my best to explain what you need to do on them. So here we are in Microsoft Word, or in the Documents unit. And of course, Microsoft Word are used for word processing. You can do all types of things with word processing. You not only type letters and reports and things like that, but you could even draw tables, like tables from a spreadsheet. You could even create something like a presentation. But usually word processors are used to do things that require lots of text. And you can see down here we're going to talk about how to create a Word document, how to format it, how to put graphics in it, how to use different fonts, all of those types of things. So let's go to the write-up and list 3 different uses of Microsoft Word or any word processor program, and then which bar in Microsoft Word lets you see how many pages you have, what page you're on, etc. So that's section 2 questions. We want to pay attention to those. So here we are, Microsoft Word. So here's back in the day, a person using a typewriter, one of the original word processors. Of course, a stone and a chisel would be the first word processor, and then a quill, a pen, and then pencils were word processors. But now we have technology word processors, don't we? So of course, Microsoft Word is used in industry and at the home and in offices and such today. And it's used obviously for document authoring, and then you print out your results or share them with other people and things like that. So we're going to demonstrate understanding the basic concepts and features of Word, create a Word document, and format fonts and paragraphs, which be how the words look. So if we look at that, which of these are good uses for Microsoft Word? So you can just kind of check this, but obviously writing a letter is a good use, keeping a journal is a good use, writing a newspaper would be a good use for Microsoft Word. Let's check our answers. Yes, so these things are some of the good uses for Microsoft Word. So that was one of the Class Connect write-up questions. And you can come up with others that it would be good to be used for. Opening a Word document, just basic, file and then open. So you shouldn't have any trouble with opening a Word document, whether you're using Microsoft Word or a different version of Word from this one, or if you're even using OpenOffice word processor program. Now the structure of a Word window. Most of you are familiar with what a Word window would look like. So if we look at this, like this will highlight the different parts. So look at the menu bar, what it has across the top, your whole applications and processes menu. And then the toolbar. And the toolbar is what you'll be using a lot in this unit because that allows you to change text and fonts and things like that. Scroll bars, of course, on the left and the bottom, or the right and the bottom, that let you move around in the document. The document window, that's where your work is being done. And then finally at the bottom, there's the status bar. And you can see at the bottom, status bar tells you what page you're on, tells you what line you're on, what column number you're on, all kinds of things. So the status bar, that's the answer to one of the Class Connect write-up questions. And that's what it tells you. The status bar tells you all of that stuff. So navigating Word document, obviously you can use the scroll bar to move up and down, the arrow bar to move up and down, page up and page down buttons, use the mouse, etc. So there are lots of ways to move about in a word processing document. Then closing a Word document, file and then close. And of course it's going to ask if you want to save your work. So just the basics of moving around a word processing document. And now we're going to get into creating a document. Let's go back to the write-up. And we answered those 3 questions in section 2 already. So section 3, what can be a consequence of not saving your work often? What is the key combination to save your work automatically? What name should you use to save your first word processing assignment in this class so you know exactly what it is to find it later? So we'll cover all those things in section 3. So as we look at section 3, you can see we're going to start looking at different types of documents. Like research papers, letters, resumes, handouts, programs, flyers, all these things can be done with a word processing program. We're not going to be doing all those in this class, but that gives you another idea of some of the things that you can do with Word Processor. In this section, we're going to look at fundamental concepts and usage of Word, create and save a document with Word. So let's learn some of the basics. So here's a warm-up activity, and what this has you do, the person that created this class, she has these little videos, and I would suggest you watch these videos. They're like 1 to 3 minutes, because they tell you the steps you need to go through to do the required assignments in this course. And I get really frustrated when students send me a K-mail, hey Mr. Harrison, I can't figure out how to put a picture into my document. Well, within the course, these little videos, they tell you how to do those things exactly. So please watch these mini videos. And a lot of this stuff you'll know how to do anyway. So this mini video is going to tell you about opening, saving, and all that. But just a couple things about saving. So I'm going to go ahead and get to a document I have. So I have my document. And if you see at the top, I'll bring my page up a little bit so you can see the top. This document is called Document 40, so I haven't saved it yet. So I could do a couple things. So I could do File, Save As. And when I do Save As, it lets me give it whatever name I want to give it. And you can see that this wants to give it the name of the first words that it finds. This is my practice paragraph. And it wants to name it that. But I could just change this to Mr. H Practice. And I can change different folders and do all that. So I'm going to go ahead and just save it as that. So then I hit Save, and it saves for me. Now let's say I go ahead and do some more work on this. And now, instead of having to do File, Save, or Save As, I could just do Control S. And Control S automatically saves for me. So on that Class Connect write-up question that said, what is automatic keystrokes? Right here, key combination to save your work automatically. Hold down the Control key, the CTRL key, and hit S, and it saves automatically after you've already named it. Now, number 3, what could be a consequence of not saving your work often? Well, obviously, a consequence of not saving your work often is that you lose the work you've done since your last save. So that's the consequence. So that was a little bit of just showing you some practice, but please watch these videos that she shares with you because they will help you in the work you're doing. Now, typing text, of course, this is going to tell you how to type text, and all of you know how to move your cursor, move the mouse, and different things like that, right? So we're not going to worry about that. Now, word wrap, here's the video for word wrap, but word wrap makes your words show up differently. So if I look at this, so here I am on mine, and see mine has kind of a staggered edge over here at the left. I could format this for a word wrap if I want to. So I could right click, paragraph, and then I could do lots of different things with this. So I could do alignment, and I could do justified, then hit OK, and see how it changed it. So I changed it, makes it go straight on the on the left side over here, lines everything. But what it does when you do that is it puts extra spaces in your sentences. So I'm going to take that off. But there's different commands that you can do for your paragraphs, and she's going to talk right here about word wrap. So you want to pay attention to that. Paragraph versus lines. Well, a paragraph is the set of information. So I have all this information in my sample paragraph. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different lines here. But as you know, as I'm typing, it just carries on to the different line, doesn't it? It just wraps by itself. So I'm just putting a bunch of junk in here. I'm not a very good typist. It just wraps automatically, right? So this is a paragraph. And the paragraph is made up of different lines. So, and whenever you hit enter key, then that gives you a new line. So obviously, here I am in my paragraph, and if I wanted this to be in a different place, then I could do that. So I just put in what's called a double space right here. We're going to learn a little bit about double spacing and line spacing. So in summary, we learned how to start, open a word processor, the keys to save, and different things like that. Okay, so now get to your first assignment. And this first assignment is called Science Experiment 1. It gives you the exact name to save it as. And I'm not going to explain this assignment because I do that in the assignment descriptions announcement that I shared with you earlier. In the announcement, I tell you exactly how to do this work. And here you can click to see how you're graded. And I also discuss how you're going to get graded on that. So I'm not going to spend my time on this now. But do make sure there's the name you're going to save it as, the exact name. All right, so that was section 3. Now getting into section 4, we're going to do some formatting on our text. So let's go to the section 4. What are the 3 common formats to draw attention to your words? So formatting, of course, is making your words appear the way you want them to appear. Rather than just appear as regular words, you can change them. And so you read through this, it talks about how you can make your text look different. And bold, italics, and underlined, they can draw attention to words or phrases. So those are the 3 ways that you can change the way your text looks to draw attention to it. And they're all called fonts is what we're going to work at. So we're going to look at formatting text in Word and use fonts in a Word document. So there's a warm-up activity. So this is talking about, like in the last section where she had you, if you wanted to just start typing a word processing letter. This video, I suggest you watch this because she's going to talk about how to change fonts, styles, different effects, and colors. If you don't know how to do that, she will tell you because you have to do it in the assignment. So watch these videos, please. Now, the term font, it was just the style. Usually it used to be called the typeface, but now the font is more than just the style. It talks about the size and other properties. Now the name of font, you can see like there's Arial, which is a type of writing, Times New Roman, which is a type of writing. Arial and Times New Roman are the most common ones. And the font menu, so that's at the top of your screen. So if I go back to the document I have, so I'm on this, maybe I want to make my practice paragraph. I want to make that stand out. So I would highlight that, then I could go up to my toolbar up here and I could hit bold on that. Or if I wanted to do something for this whole section right here, then I could do something on that whole paragraph if I wanted to. So I could change all the type in that whole paragraph and do lots of different things on it. So using this toolbar up here is really going to help you out if I put it all in italics, whatever I want to do. So this is using the formatting toolbar. So now I just went from the toolbar up here, but I could also just click this stuff, and then I can do right click, and then I can go right here and do font work and make different changes from there. So depending on the version of Word you have, you can do different things. So here I could do all this stuff in at one shot. Bold, italics, and underline, that's what can draw attention to text. We talked about that already. Changing fonts. So this just talks about you could rapidly click 3 times in a paragraph and you can choose a paragraph. So that makes life easier too. So if I'm right here in this paragraph, so if I click 3 times, like 2 times I click on a word. If I click 3 times in a paragraph, the whole thing highlights. So you can do different things like that to select the things you want. Changing font color, we already looked at that. And just for fun, you can go to this website and you can look at different types of fonts. Project 2, just like Project 1, I'm not going to explain this. There's certain assignments you're going to do in Project 2. You're going to change the title, do something to the title, put something in bold, change your date, some objectives, etc., do some underlining. So again, look at that announcement that I have in the assignment directions that tell you exactly how to do all of these projects. All right, so that's section 4. Now let's jump on to section 5. So section 5 is about formatting paragraphs. Let's go to the write-up, see the questions. And section 5 lists 3 line spacing choices. They're available in Word. So section 5. So now we're going to look at doing different formats on paragraphs. So apply paragraph formatting to a Word document. And what this has you look at, and she's demonstrating here, is like if you started in the beginning, when we started in the documents unit, it had you said, you could go ahead and do a practice letter, and then you do all this practice, but she kind of does it in her presentations here too. So this is going to do all about formatting paragraphs. That's when you want something to happen on an entire paragraph. I encourage you again, watch these recordings because she tells you exactly what to do. Now if I go back to my document, or if I want this paragraph to be centered, so you can see that, so I can highlight it all, then I can go right here and hit center, and it centers that paragraph. And then if I type anything after that, it stays centered. So you can see how that can work, right? If I wanted to center the whole paper, then I highlight everything and then I hit center. I could also, if I wanted to, I could hit Control A and that highlights everything. Then I can click center. I can do all kinds of things. I could go up here. Well, we'll cover that at a later time, but lots of things I can do for whole paragraphs. So watch that lesson video right there, and she shows you all kinds of things to do, and how to do it. Now, line spacing. Line spacing gets a little bit tricky. Some people don't understand what it is, but what line spacing is the amount of space between lines of the same paragraph. So if we go here, so here I am in this, I'm going to highlight all that, then I right-click, paragraph, and if I go down here, right now that paragraph, you can see it's set on single spacing. That means that right between these lines in this paragraph is what they consider a single. There's no lines in between, really. Now I can change to 1.5, and then as I hit OK, you can see what happens. So see, now that's 1.5 spaces. I could go to that paragraph again. I could change it to double space. OK, now you can see what happens. So double space, there's like a blank line in between. So those are some of the types of spacing. So if I highlight this again, I could go do all kinds of spacing with that. Now what it talks about here is that some of the different types of spacing, there's single, there's 1.5 lines, they're double. Those are like the 3 main types of spacing that Word that allows you to do. Now when you do spacing, you want to make sure that you use the spacing commands like that rather than going, I could make this paragraph be double spaced by hitting enter between sentences. But that is not the way you do double spacing, because then as you type in new words, if I type new words in here, then it doesn't stay double spaced. See that? You want to make sure you let the computer do all the work for you. Let the program do the work. Margins and indentations. So you could format the paragraph to have indented lines and indented margins. And this talks about how you could make hanging indents, first line indents, right indents. And you're not going to be required to do that in this work, so don't worry too much about that. So here's a little tutorial on formatting paragraphs. Go through this tutorial. It's probably 2 or 3 minutes, because that will help you when you do the assignment, this next assignment. Now this says follow the teacher's instruction to submit this. Well, you're not going to submit any work on this. This isn't part of the grade book. But go to this website and it shows you all about different toolbars that Microsoft Word has and what the different things do on the toolbar. So you might learn a little bit there if you don't understand all of that. And finally, project 3 And one thing about this, you're going to open up your project 2 experiment, and then you're going to save it immediately as project 3, then you're going to work on it. That's really important, and I emphasize it in my assignment directions recording announcement. So this one, you're going to do more work with the same assignment you've been working on the whole time. Now we're into section 5. Or that's the section 5 of the assignment, sorry. So that's how you get graded on it. And now we're into section 6. And section 6, we'll go up to the right up, of course. And in section 6, what is one drawback to relying on the word processor spell check? Explain 2 common mistakes spell checker would not find, and then what 3 errors did my spell checker not find in question number 9 right here. So let's go into section 6. Okay, section 6, we're going to look more about formatting and to make your documents look the best they can be. So, what are some other formatting tricks and techniques that can be important, like putting images in using headers, page numbers, etc. So we're going to look at some other fundamental concepts with Word, formatting text and documents, and ethical use of the internet, obtaining stuff from the internet. So clip art. Clip art, of course, are pictures that you put into documents. And clip art, Word has a bunch of clip arts in it, as does OpenOffice, word processor program, and other word processor programs. So you can use clip art that are within the programs, or you can go online, you can download your own. If you take images from the internet, then you have to credit your sources, right? So she has a tutorial here showing you how to do clip artwork. So you want to follow that tutorial to see how. But I'll go ahead and show you quickly. So let's say I want to put a picture right here in the middle. I could go up to Insert, Clip Art, and maybe I just wanted this silly picture of a bug. So I'll put that picture of a bug in there, and the picture of the bug gets centered. I can make that picture smaller if I want it to fit on my page properly. I could also, like if I go to Home right here, I can hit left, I can put that bug over at the left, I can put the bug over at the right, I can put the bug centered, however I want to do that. Now since I took it from clip art, I don't need to put a notation of where I got that resource. I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Now let's see another way to put an image in. I went right here and I did a search on Google image search for the word bugs, and I found a bunch. So maybe I want to take this bug this ladybug. So I get that ladybug, and then I right click, copy image, and I can go into Word, and I paste it right there. Then I hit Control V and it pastes that bug in there for me. So the bug shows up. It's obviously too big, so I grab the handles and I can shrink it down. Now since I got that off the internet, here's what I need to do. So I right click just to the right of it, hit enter so I'm below it. I go back to where that picture came from, but I need to click on it so I get to the exact page where it came from. Now look up here. Now I know exactly where that came from. So I hit Control C, which is copy, go back to my word processor, and right underneath it, that's where that image came from. So that's how you cite your images when you find one off the internet. And you have to go to the exact page where it came from. Otherwise, like right here, this image, see this, the address up here, this is not where the image lives. This is just how it was found in Google search. So that's a step on doing that properly. But she will show you right here how to add clip art, so watch her video too. Okay, spelling. Of course, the great thing about word processors is that you have spell checker. And one thing that spell checker cannot do, they can't assure you use the right word. So like if I had the word write, W-R-I-T-E there, the spell checker would not find it. So that's one thing that they cannot find. They cannot ensure you use the right word. Also, spell checker would not find a word that was spelled correctly. Actually, that's the main thing. Spell checker will not find a word that is spelled correctly, but it's the wrong word. I mean, that's the main thing that spell checker will not find. A word that is the wrong word, but is spelled the right way. So never count on spell checker to make your document look professional. Always proofread to prevent errors. Here's a tutorial, spelling and grammar, and actually I'm not sure what this is supposed to do. There's nothing to do here. So remember, all the stuff that we've done, Control S will save automatically. We talked about that already. Control P can print automatically. So here are a bunch of shortcuts. And we learned all about these things, didn't we? Fonts. And if you watch her video, she's going to talk about how to put page numbers in. Because you have to put page numbers in, and you put page numbers in, let the computer do it for you. You don't do it manually. So like if I go here, this is the wrong way to do it. If I go enter, get all the way down to the bottom of my page, and then I type in page 1, that's the wrong way. Because if I start putting in more information up here, then my page number goes to a different page. So you have to do the page number properly. You have to insert and then use the page numbering. So there's page number right there, and you can tell it where you want it to go. So now that page number shows up at the bottom of my page, and it will always be there. I could center it, so no matter what I do with paragraphs and everything, then the page number will always show up there, and that's called a footer. But her video previously shows you how to do all the page numbering and everything. It's right here. It talks about that. Okay, now we need to get to page 9. So page 9, you have the unit exam, and you also have project 4, which was page 8. So that's all for this. A couple things. As you go through this work, so I'm going to go back up here. Again, assignment directions right here. It tells you how to do all 4 of the assignments in this unit. It tells you exactly what you need to do. But the videos in this unit will also show you that within the course, those little videos, they will show you how to do the different pieces of work. Now, one thing, they have you change your fonts and stuff. Please don't turn your work in with like when you do a font. Get out of that. Please don't go here and use like the dingbat font or something that is unreadable. Please choose fonts when you go to make changes. Choose fonts that are readable. Don't do one that makes things be all capitals. So please do things so that it turns out right when you do your assignments. So that's all I have for you. We've answered all the Class Connect write-up questions. Drawback to relying on word processor spell check. I talked about that. Explain 2 common mistakes spell checker would not find. And what that means is, what are just a couple of mistakes? What are a couple of real mistakes that spell checker would not find? And then finally, what 3 errors did my spell checker not find in this question right here? What 3 errors are in there? Okay. So again, on number 9, I want you to give me 2 examples of words that spell checker might not find if you have that in your document, in a document. So that's it. Thank you very, very much, everybody. I look forward to your work coming in. Bye.